What's up guys? You've been asking us how to clean and maintain your pads, which is a good question and answer video. So today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do that by machine and by hand. So over here we have our citrus-based polishing pad cleaner. This is what you're going to spray directly on the pad, and then using a soft brush we're going to scrub off all that polishing compound, glaze, sealant, waxes, anything that's on the pad itself. And then later on in the video we're going to show you how to do this by machine. So to get started, I have two dirty pads over here, one microfiber and then one foam pad. And then we'll start off by spraying down the surface using our citrus-based pad cleaner. And I'm only going to do half to show you the cleaning power of the actual cleaner. And then I'm also going to spray the brush for added cleaning power, also lubrication to keep this thing gliding across the surface. And we're just going to start gently working back and forth. And you can see it takes off any kind of residue, polishing compound, or anything that was on the surface nice and easily without harming the pad. So you guys have wondered how many pads do we use during a typical polishing job? Usually if we're using an orange pad, it's only one because we're only using 5 dime-sized drops of product, and that's not clotting up or damaging the pad in any way. So usually if you're polishing your car, you're only going to need about one pad unless you're doing a 2-step polish where you use one for obviously cutting and one for refining. Even for your waxing, glaze, and sealing steps, you only need one pad because it's not going to clot up the pad if you're using the right amount of product. So if you're overdoing with the product, it'll start to cover the face and then it's going to become useless. But if you're using the recommended 5 dime-sized drops, you only need one pad for your polishing or your glazing steps. So this pad's coming along nicely. After scrubbing one half of it, you can see that it's taken off a lot of that old residue from buildup of polishes, and the other half is still dirty. We have to work on that a little bit, but these pads are actually pretty old. Another question a lot of people ask is how old are your pads, or when do you know when to throw them away? Obviously, if they're not polishing or cutting anymore, that's when they're no good, but this pad has been up there for almost a year now, and it still does a pretty good job. So if you maintain your pads and use the proper amount of polishes, and as long as you're using pad conditioner, these will last you a long time. So we're going to finish cleaning this pad off later. In the meantime, we're going to move over here to our microfiber pad, and it's the same process. We're going to spray down the face of this using our pad cleaner and then gently scrubbing it with our pad detailing brush. And what we're doing is we're removing any kind of buildup of polish or compound, and we're also reviving the fibers, because if you don't know this, when you're using a microfiber pad, it actually creates more heat and more cutting power than it would on a foam pad. And the only way that's going to work is if these fibers are nicely rejuvenated and if they all stand up on themselves. So by pulling off any kind of polish or compound that's in the fibers, it's making it like brand new again. So let's take a regular clean microfiber towel, wipe off the excess. So for those of you guys that have been wondering how to maintain your pads, this is the simplest and easiest way to do it. Just by scrubbing it down using a simple brush and the pad cleaner, it's taking care of all that built up residue of compounds, polishes, and brought back this nice soft feeling. Now over here you can see it's dried out, it's clotted up with all that past residue. This is going to make your pads last by cleaning it, and also you can use this on your foam pads, microfiber, and you can even use it on old school wool pads. So now that I've shown you how to do it by hand, let's move over to the machine and show you the quick way to do this using a machine and pad washer. Now what we're going to do is, I've already got this bucket set up with some water. We're going to add a cap full of the pad cleaner, and then we're going to attach our pad to our rotary machine. You can do this with either a dual action or a rotary machine. I choose rotary because it's a lot faster. I feel like it gets a better clean because it really gets down and deep in there. This is our flex polisher. We'll just attach this, center it as best as we can. So now we've centered it as best as we can. You can see that this green pad has been built up with old polishes and residue. It's nice and dried on there, so it's going to make it harder for it to come off if you did this by hand. So we're going to start off by pressing the pad into the pad washer, and there's specialty springs that force water and pad cleaner into the foam. This is going to help loosen off any of that old built up compound and polishes. And then on the lowest speed setting, we're going to pass it over the grit guard that's inside of this bucket, and that's going to help remove it all, and then we'll dry it using the highest speed setting. And there you have it, guys. You can see just by simply using the pad washer, it's literally done in less than a minute. This pad is nice and clean. It's also dry now by turning on the highest speed setting. That flings out all the excess water, but it traps it inside of the bucket, not making a mess. So if you guys want to learn more about these products, go to our website, chemicalguys.com. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And we'll see you next time right here in the Detail Garage.